Hi everybody, this is a little video. I'm calling it The Psychology of Music. It's related to the song Blackbird that I want to teach people. But before I start the actual lessons of that, I just want to talk about what I call the psychology of music. Now, from my experience, which is quite long, as you know, I'm 84 years old. I've had many other lives and experiences. I could write many books probably. But anyway, I'm talking about the psychology of music. From my experience, all knowledge is related. Like the experience of the Indian wheel. You might have seen it on flags, the big cog. Why I talk about that is because I started out in one position on the cog, following a subject. And as I went round, one subject merged into another subject, into another subject, into another subject. I got deeper and deeper and deeper, learned more and more and more. And I found that the more I learned, the less I knew. Until many years later, I arrived back at the starting point where I'd set out. It was quite an eye-opener, actually, right? So what's this got to do with music, you say, or especially learning how to play Blackbird? Well, music's a massive subject. It encompasses many scientific and artistic disciplines. And we can take part at a simple level, just playing a harmonica, ukulele, drums, guitar, and some of the trumpets, saxophones, cellos, whatever. At a simple level, everybody can get a tune. You know, even the kids on the recorder. I remember some of my kids playing the recorder. It drove me up the wall. But they were making music. Anyway, at that time, I made my three kids xylophones. Right, was making boxes like a coffin. I had aluminium slats, and each slat I tuned it to the musical alphabet. So that was so they could go and play in a school band, because the price of xylophones were just out of, you wouldn't believe. Anyway, I made three of them xylophones, but that's another story, right? But there's many things to be gained from music, for our physical, mental health. I mean, I can seriously say that it's music that's dragged me through this COVID crisis. It's kept me sane, kept me strong, and kept me going. Whenever all else failed, I always had music. Now, and I believe that is because music is in tune with our human biological soul. Now, some people don't believe in the soul. Fair enough. I mean, I must admit, it's taken me many years to be convinced that we do have a soul, and I've got evidence for myself and my own personal experience which has confirmed it, which I don't want to go into here. People learn for themselves. You know, you can be really biased, but then you have experiences and it completely changes your view on things. Anyway, by this I mean the biological soul. Animals, birds, and even some sea mammals like whales, even fish make certain sounds under the water. It's been recorded, right? And there's wonderful examples of bird song, linnets, canaries, blackbirds. I mean, this is the blackbirds singing in the dead of night. If you've ever heard a blackbird singing in the evening, late at night, absolutely beautiful and wonderful it is. And poor old blackbirds are getting rarer and rarer. But anyway, this is what I call a biological soul, part of all animals. Right? How do the birds learn to do it? I don't think anybody knows, but they do. And apparently the songs they're not just random collections of notes. They're quite organised and, come from a place that we're not aware of. And so I'm getting back to music. Now all music is a sound frequency, right? Measured in hertz. Hertz means how many cycles a second the frequency is. Now, we hear frequency like we see the wavelengths of light, sunlight, and we see the different colours in our eyes. With sound, we hear different frequencies. Well, our ears are only tuned to certain frequencies. There may be, outside of our hearing range, frequencies where birds or animals might be talking to themselves, dogs even, or cats, in a different frequency, but we can't hear it, right? It could be lower or it could be higher, because the human hearing is 20,000 cycles, 20 cycles to 20,000. It's 20 cycles, which is a low bass note, and 20,000 is a high treble note. So it's quite an expanse with hearing. I mean, some people can maybe hear a bit lower than 20 and some maybe higher than 20,000, but that's the normal range of human hearing. So it's a magical thing, really. I mean, one of the things about above 20,000, just to prove the point, is you may have heard of dog whistles, right? People like shepherds and farmers use dog whistles. When you blow on it, human beings can't hear anything other than the of the, blowing the air through it, right? But it's producing a whistle above 20,000, which a dog can hear. And you blow that whistle, and if the dog's 200 yards away, the dog can hear it. And dog can hear it and control the dog and bring it back. So I'm just saying that just to demonstrate about the frequency of sound. Right? And there's the humpback whale. I mean, John Denver made a song, the song of the humpback whale, which it's been recorded. They do sort of sing to themselves in this peculiar manner under the sea. Anyway, some human beings have an amazing aptitude for making music. And us lesser beings, lesser musicians, listen to them and watch them with amazement. Or we used to do. We used to listen. Well, we still listen to the really top people. I mean, now with AI, it's becoming, a lot of the stuff is fake. It's not real. The people aren't playing it. They aren't singing. They're singing, but the AI is producing something completely different. And that, I'm afraid, is where music's going. This is why I'm trying to get people interested in the guitar and play the guitar for themselves. Because I'm sure people are going to get fed up with this AI stuff, all the fake and stuff. Everything produces, if it's people singing as if they're in a music studio, pitch perfect, audio correct, tune correct, and all that. But it's soulless, no soul at all. And I'm sure people are going to go back to playing acoustic guitar. And like I've done, I found myself a folk group. It's just ordinary people playing music with guitars and other instruments, fiddles, violins, and various things, mouth organs and various things. And it's really good. I really enjoy it. It touches something. Anyway, these people who are expert in symphony orchestras and in some of the top bands and stuff who can produce music and really play it really, really well, you know. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. A lot of these people have spent years and years practicing, studying and practicing. And they come in and just play it casually and you think, God, that fella's talented, really talented. Well, he spent maybe 20 or 30 years of his life learning that music and playing it constantly. So that's a measure of it. There are some musical geniuses. I mean, Mozart was a musical genius. He could play fantastically complicated music from the age of about 6 or 7. His dad used to take him around like a travelling circus, playing in front of people. But he was a genius, and there are, some people who are like that. But for the majority of us, we're all pretty much in the same range, and it's a matter of dedication and practice. I mean, I've got to my highest level. No matter how much I practice, I'm not going to get any better, which is not very good. But it gives me more fun, and it gives me zest. It's like a bit of a drug. Really, really brightens me up, gets me going. It's great. Anyway, for the psychology of music, I don't know whether there's any academic courses in universities or colleges or whatever. But in my opinion, there should be. Humans are all the same, but different. Right? What do I mean by that? Well, we're tall, short, happy, depressed, practical, academic, artistic, privileged, disadvantaged, winners and losers. Whatever category we're in, we have no choice. Where our parents' eggs and sperms met, decided our position in this lattice work of life. You know, the person with the silver spoon, he's only got there by chance, right? However, we can break out, and many people do. Many people accept their position in life and just accept it and carry on happily with their lives. Whether we're aware or not, people are categorized from an early age, and most of us live out our lives according to these categories, and musical ability is one of them. What governs one's ability to become the best musician we can for ourselves is physical and our mental capacity and our psychological and social attributes, which differ in all of us. Physical, for example, I have a granddaughter who, as a child, was tall and bigger than average, so in the music class she was assigned the cello because she was the only one who could carry it, right, and play it. Not a good reason to interest a child in a musical instrument. I wanted to play drums, but was considered too naughty to be allowed near them. And being from a very poor family, social aspects, i.e. lack of money, and meant drums were out of the question for me. But it did not stop me from making music on pots, pans, posts, banging on things and boxes, etc. I tried playing a bugle in the boys' brigade, but the harder I tried, the more difficult it got, right? And a mental barrier went up against the brass instruments. I thought, not for me, I'll never play a brass instrument. I was probably wrong, but never mind. So what are the main attributes does a person need to succeed in any area of academic learning or expertise? Most people would probably say intelligence. I would dispute that. A psychological intelligence quotient is supposed to indicate one's ability and aptitude to learn. The Binet test, used this in the early 20th century, was a task given to children in a series of puzzles and questions, supposedly not related to any academic subject. And the brighter the child, the more questions they answered correctly. The problem with this is that many children of higher social standing had rehearsed similar questions before they sat the exam, whilst for others it was a first-hand experience and the questions looked illogical and sometimes rather silly. Another example, the second time in my life I sat a test with a group of public school high flyers who mostly scored 150 plus on a Bin A intelligence test, to my own 128, 135 or something, which I was very disappointed with. Most of you, like me, I think, must be thick. So, for learning, we need certain physical attributes. I ruled out intelligence because it's a construct. It doesn't exist. It's just something that people in our society have made up in order to categorize people, and they're bright and they deserve learning. They deserve to go higher education. They deserve university. They don't say it, but that's what the intelligence test used to say. Fortunately, they don't use it so much now, but anyway, right? But there's some things that we do need which can help you better. One is memory, which is given to you at birth. We all have a memory. And motivation. These are the two main things I would say to be a musician. Right, now human memory, having a good memory is an advantage. However, don't put you off. Don't think to yourself that I've got a bad memory, because you probably haven't. Right, across a population, that is maybe you take 1,000, 2,000 or as many numbers as you like of people. Give them a test, memorising a series of objects, right? And the average will come out with people usually can remember, first off, 8 objects plus or minus 2. That means the lowest usually will remember 6 objects. That's the worst you can get. And the best will remember 10, 11, 12. So there's quite a tight ratio between the people with bad, what you would say, worse memories to the good memories. So there's no such thing really as for the average person, a bad memory. Just some people are better. I mean, these memory men, which you see on TV and things, it's just a trick. I mean, I could show you it if you wanted. I mean, it's just a trick, memorising pi to the 8th degree. And I mean, I can do it myself. I can memorise packs of playing cards, laying them out and just memorise them. I mean, I couldn't do it off the cuff. I'd have to sit down and start doing the learning again, because it's a trick. It's how you do it. It's like learning Shakespeare, basically. That's what it is. Anyway, I'll go no further than that. Right. There are people called savants, and those are amazing people. They're often people who have no social skills, don't get on with anyone, and people can think they're quite backward, as it were. But these so-called savants have amazing capacities. There's only very few of them, but some of them can memorise a book just by flicking the pages over and looking at them, and they can do extraordinary things. And science is trying to find out why they can do that, but they're very few, far between. And of course, we have lots of people who are terribly burdened with poor mental abilities, poor memory and stuff like that, where it's just biological and there's not a lot you can do about with it. They have to live as best they can. And we, as caring people, should be helping them to live the best lives they can. Right? So, there's then the physical attributes, which I'll finish with. Physical attributes. I mean, take me, for instance. Tiny, tiny hands, right? Not very long fingers. So when I'm playing a guitar, like the blues, there's a chord called long E, which you've got to stretch over 5 frets to do it. No matter how I stretched, if I put that distance string there, I cannot reach it. So it's impossible for me to play long E. So what I have to do is find alternatives to a long E and play a short E. but I have to find alternatives, right? So I'll finish there. What was the point of psychology of music? Well, I'm trying to convince people that everyone can learn a musical instrument. And because I love the guitar, I'm trying to push guitar, because fortunately at the moment I'm reading where it's saying guitars are going out of fashion, music shops are closing down, and all that's going to be left is the old AI to keep you happy. You'll be able to watch it and say, oh, isn't that wonderful? Fake as can be. Oh, it's fantastic. Everything's fake. Mrs. Taylor and all the rest of them. It's fake as a 9-bob note, as we used to say. Anyway, take care, and I'll get on and put the first lesson of Blackbird, and I'm sure you'll be able to learn it. Cheers, peace and love.